We don't know. What's out there?
The maze. Every morning when those doors open, the runners look for a way out. And no one has ever survived a night in the maze. What happens to them?
You guys probably guessed it. Today we are talking about The Maze Runner, and we are breaking down 9 things you all need to know about this movie, which is hitting theaters very soon in September to be exact, because it is one of the most talked about things happening at Comic-Con this week.
Where we are, even though we're in the studio right now.
Right. Obviously.
Get excited. Okay, so let's kick this off with number 9. I mean, let's start with the basics. The movie is set for release, yes, you're right, in September.
Okay.
But the date is September 19th.
Put it on your calendar.
Make sure you're there.
Now you know. Okay, I'm going to go to number 8. So the premise of this whole movie is about, of course, it's based on a very popular book that's been turned into a movie. It's the first in a franchise that was written by author James Dashner. Now, The Maze Runner is described as a young adult post-apocalyptic science fiction book. We know all about those. And now, obviously, it's being turned into a movie. And the story kind of focuses on a character named Thomas, who's left with a group of about 50 or 60 boys in a place called The Glade.
The Glade.
The Glade. Now, after having his memory completely erased, he only remembers just his name, nothing else. Very interesting. Now, the Glade is surrounded by a huge, massive maze. And about once a month, one of the boys goes into the maze to try to figure it out, but no one ever comes back.
Obviously.
Because they're basically prisoners in there, unless they find their way out.
It's super scary. So Thomas decides to take his shot, go into the maze, and then he realizes that they're all really just trapped inside. And then in order to have a shot at escaping, all the runners, they're called runners, they have to join forces in order to make it happen.
It's the Maze Runner!
It's the Maze Runner!
The Maze Runner!
It's crazy.
And I think it's scary, those grievers inside. Keep them out of my life.
We will.
We'll try.
Well, at number 7, you guys, there's kind of a big shocker, unless, of course, you've read the books. So the day after Thomas arrives in the Glade, a girl is brought in.
OMG, drama.
They're all like, oh,
And she has a message for all the guys inside of the Glade that she is going to be the last one ever. And FYI, she knows Thomas. Check it out.
It's a girl.
Thomas.
That was crazy.
Looks like they need a couple women around there. That place looks a little shabby.
They look dirty. They need a shower.
Well, okay, let's talk about the cast. Aside from the book already being so popular, fans are basically freaking out over this stellar cast.
Sure.
It's amazing. So obviously you've got Dylan O'Brien, who you've recognized in some of the clips we've already shown. He's playing Thomas. We have Will Poulter. He's coming back. He's actually the antagonist in this particular movie.
So good.
But it's really hard to imagine that, because anytime I think of this guy, I think of this scene.
I've seen a rainbow yesterday, but too many storms have come and gone, leaving a trace of not what God given me. Is it because my life in 10 shades of gray? I pray all 10 fade away, seldom praising for the sunny day. You claim the insane
Waterfall.
Please.
But I'm so excited to see him in this character.
Me too.
It's totally
He's a
flip
stellar
around. We also have Kaya Scodelario as Teresa, Ki Hong Lee as Minho, Jacob Lattimore. He's one of our favorites. He's playing Jeff, and then the list goes on and on, because there's a lot of guys who are in the maze. And you guys, a really fun fact to know, even though the movie is called The Maze Runner, Dylan did not even have to run for his audition. In fact, the first time anyone ever saw him run for this project, I gotta add, was on the set.
That's so funny.
You don't have to run too far.
Yeah, exactly. He's all about sprinting, and he's gone on the record to actually say he, quote unquote, loves to sprint.
Ooh.
That's cool. Good for you, Dylan.
All right, yeah. All right, so let's talk about romance. Will there be romance? Won't there be? Because there is a woman now, a girl in the group. But sorry, guys, there's not going to be much romance. sort of kind of like the Hunger Games is, though. You know, there's like the romance kind of takes a backseat.
Right.
The story is so big and so developed. Like, you don't even need love. Who needs love?
Yeah, I think coming from like Twilight a few years ago, we all became so dependent on these epic love stories. But, or maybe we didn't. But you can still have a great movie without the romance being the center focus, which, you know, the Hunger Games
And
Divergent.
anything that's post-apocalyptic, there's a more important purpose
Yeah,
to
that's
life at that
survival.
point. Yeah,
Survival.
survival's first. So then some love can come after that.
It's so true. Another thing that you always think of when you have a book turned movie is how are these going to be different from each other? And the movie is in fact going to be different from the book. The director confirmed that unlike in the book, Thomas and Teresa will not be communicating telepathically in the movie. So spoiler alert for you guys. James Dashner, who's the author, he went on the record to say that he was okay with this because, I mean, if you guys think about it also, he said that a lot of times in movies when there's telepathy, it really ends up being cheesy. And I can already think of some that come to mind where people are like communicating just by looking at each other, and it's really hard to pull off.
It is.
It's a little difficult to follow.
Yeah.
And one other thing I heard is that the movie is the book on steroids.
Oh my
So
gosh.
if that doesn't get you excited,
You can tell.
I don't know what will.
The trailer, based on the trailer alone,
You can
I
tell.
mean, you were screaming in our office, so we're obviously pretty excited.
Okay, so this next one, number 3, it's a little BTS, okay?
Behind the scenes.
I hate this. I hate knowing this. Snakes on a mother glade. Okay? Snakes apparently were all over the set. The set was literally overrun with snakes. No joke. Just watch this clip.
Pretty rare to get bit, right? And they're like, yeah, so, but there's the best hospital down the road, you know, it's only an hour away. You're really lucky to have that, you know,
They have the best snake venom kit. Awesome.
Like literally, apparently, that was what was supposed to make us feel better. That, you know, if we were unlucky, we could be just getting bit by snakes and dying because there's no hospital nearby.
It added to the realism.
It would have been great for publicity if it hadn't. Wow.
Yeah, someone on the crew actually got bit by a baby rattler. Yeah, but it was while we were building the glade, and the thing about the baby snakes that's really scary about them is that they haven't learned how to control the venom they inject. So the baby ratters tend to inject all at once, and it can really screw you up. Fortunately, it was a dry bite, so it means there was no venom involved. But you know, he had to go to the hospital and get checked out.
WTF!
What? I love that they didn't even tell the cast, like,
messed
there are
up.
snakes all around you right now.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Because they probably would have, like,
Quit.
run for the hills.
They would have
That's
quit.
it.
They were like, show's over, movie's over,
That's
recast.
so messed up.
Not good, not good. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to number 2. Dylan's character, Thomas, is really different from his character style. So there's even more action than we're used to on Teen Wolf, which is kind of crazy. Now this is what Dylan had to say about the differences between Styles and Thomas.
Definitely a little more stoic, a little calmer, more introverted, you know, he's quieter. Sort of a little more like me, I guess, and then Styles has, you know, this my goofy side is, you know, Styles, basically.
I'm just excited to see him take on a new character because we've only really seen him in like comedy roles, and Styles has had a lot going on Teen Wolf, but this is going to be, he's an action star with grit and emotion
And he looks
drama.
really good. His acting looks really good
Yeah, it
from what I've
does.
seen in the trailer so far.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you guys, at our number 1 spot, would you believe, guys, that Dylan O'Brien almost did not get this job because of his hair?
What?
Can you guys
He's
believe
got
that?
such a great head of hair.
He really does. He's a good-looking guy. We know our fans and our viewers are obsessed with him. But he said when he auditioned, he said this, quote, "I didn't hear back for like a month and a half because Wes, the director, was like, his hair is too MTV." That's what he thought, which was so funny. Then he saw a picture of me with more regular hair, the buzz cut or something from Teen Wolf, and he brought me back and it just worked. It ended up working out. Thank God for that buzz cut, Dylan
Oh,
O'Brien.
goodness.
Stand up against hair discrimination. That's just rude.
That's why they call it acting.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, right. Come on. You couldn't have an imagination to envision what he looked like with a buzz cut?
Right, or just pull out Photoshop. We're advanced now.
Yeah.
We've got technology to figure that stuff
point.
out.
I am so excited about this movie. I know we're so excited. huge at Comic-Con, and we're obviously covering it, so you guys have got to check that out.
I want it out now.
The movie is out. Dana.
September 19th, you guys. I'm going to be at the movie theater. I'm hoping to get a press invite early on this one.
Likewise.
That's for sure.
But you guys stick with us right here at Clever and let us know what you are looking forward to most about The Maze Runner. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys. And click right here to check out all the details you need to know about Comic-Con. It's happening now.